Hello, everyone. I hope your week is going well. History and the historic timeline is being misrepresented. Elements of agenda, misdirection, false information. 5 years ago, I was listening to Martin Liedtke. He added a new word to my vocabulary, Fasces. Fasces, and he showed numerous pictures dating back what looks like 5 to 2,500 years ago, but who's to say how accurate that is? Fasces is a bundle of tubes of some kind with either an axe head at the end or in the middle, or an axe head with a pick attached. When I first saw this, it appeared to be an ineffective thing to carry. It's bulky and it doesn't seem to be usable for much. Yet, through the presentation of his story, powerful figures dating back up until 180, 200 years ago are either pictured or statued holding fasces or with fasces nearby. I don't know if there's a connection, but when I saw the fasces presentation, along with the mention of giants on our timeline, whether it be foreign countries or native peoples or the Bible, there's giants, titans, many mentions of giants, but they're not here now. Then I went back and I looked at this fasces and considered that it may be a giant unaliver somehow. And if it is, perhaps it lifts them and then lets them drop with their own body weight, resulting in loss of life on the ground. It's really hard to say. It's so skillfully inserted in the timeline to twist the story, change the direction of reality, or control the thought process. So we have Paul Bunyan and his Blue Ox Babe, a giant, walking through the middle of the United States in its very early days. There's even mention of heavy rains filling the Great Lakes as he pioneered across the USA, paving the way. He carried a huge axe and lopped off huge trees with a single blow. Now, does this tie into the desert Southwest plateaus we see that are perhaps tree stumps? Hard to say. And then we have John Henry, another giant who is presented as competing with machines, working with steel, paving the way for a better future for America. Along with these two giants, we have Jack and the Beanstalk, where Jack grabs gold and runs to the beanstalk, descends from the clouds, with the giant lumbering slowly behind him. As the giant starts down the beanstalk, Jack takes an axe and drops the giant to the ground. So obviously there's a thread here with this power, dominance, removal of giants, the axe, and who knows what the bundle of tubes are around a fasces. Once again, this smells of misdirection, narrative, cover-up, kind of along the same lines as we hear the gravity of a black hole is so strong that it bends and bends time, and it's just another excuse, misdirection, and band-aid on the timeline. Have a good week, everyone.
His strength and his goodness helped America grow.
Muscle.
freedom that run the forest stream. Come all you roving lumberjacks and listen to my theme.
Oh, and I almost forgot. He also built the Rocky Mountains.
Paul grabbed a hill with either hand, with a ring-ting-a-tim-ring-a-tid-not-nay, and set them down so they would stand in a row. He built the Rockies up so high, the topmost peak held up the sky, with a ring-ting-a-tim-ring-a-tid-not-nay.
So, Paul Bunyan began to dig. Soon, he had scooped out hundreds of miles of earth. Now he wanted rain, so he clapped his hands together. And down poured the rain until the holes in the earth were filled with the Great Lakes. It took just another day's work for Paul Bunyan to dig the Erie Canal from Buffalo to Albany, and the inland waterway was completed.
He lived long ago. His strength and his goodness helped America grow.
At the height of westward expansion on the American frontier, lumberjacks working for logging companies were a necessity. To say it was a dangerous occupation, felling trees and clearing the land, would be an understatement. Severe weather, natural obstacles of immense size all but isolating the logging communities, working every day with axes and saws and other sharp instruments, with hundreds upon hundreds of pounds of felled lumber all around. It was an arduous job, filled with risk. A job best suited for a giant of a man. Many tales claim he was born on the coast of Bangor, Maine. Even as a newborn, he was immense in size, needing 5 full-grown storks working overtime to deliver him to his parents. With a double-bladed axe in hand and babe at his side, Paul made his way from the forests of Maine all the way to the Pacific Northwest, cutting down trees for lumber while his trusty ox hauled the loads without complaint. When Babe finally passed away, the mound Paul buried him under became the Black Hills of South Dakota. Paul Bunyan's gargantuan efforts on the frontier opened the American West for trade, work, and colonization.
Well, come on, John. You're the one that we're depending on. Swing that hammer, bust that rock. Come on, give it everything you've got.
John and the drill made the valley shake.
A rumbling almost caused an earthquake.
Thunder and lightning was everywhere.
Oh Lord, that battle was beyond compare.
John Henry was the power.
Jack and the Beanstalk. 2, 3, 4, 5 gold coins. Jack watched from inside the pantry. 5 gold coins, thought Jack. If I had that money, I could fix our house. The giant woke up and saw Jack with the magic harp, the golden hen, and his gold coins. Jack was smaller and faster than the giant. Jack reached the beanstalk first and slid down. He arrived at the ground with all his treasures. The giant reached the top of the beanstalk and looked down. He was afraid of heights. He slowly climbed down.
Be careful, my husband,
shouted the giantess from the castle.
Humans can be dangerous.
Jack saw the giant coming down the beanstalk, so he ran into his house and grabbed an axe. He chopped the beanstalk. Whack! 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 Suddenly, the beanstalk snapped. The giant came tumbling down from the sky. He fell down, 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 and landed far away on the other side of the foggy mountains. Thud!